Hey everyone! How often do you get to travel abroad? Once a year, maybe once every few years? Or are you one of those lucky ones who can afford multiple trips in a season? But regardless of how often you travel, the desire to experience unforgettable moments on a trip is always there, right? That's why I've prepared a list of top destinations that will surely leave a lasting impression for a lifetime. According to various sources, these places rightfully deserve a spot on the list of the most beautiful places on Earth. And as always, don't forget to hit like and subscribe to the channel. Enjoy the show. Palawan Island pristine beaches and tropical rainforests make it one of the most beautiful landscapes in the world. Stretching along 2,000 kilometers between the South China Sea and the Sulu Sea, its coastline offers breathtaking views. It's also home to the Puerto Princesa Subterranean River National Park, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Ancient caves and underground rivers make it truly spectacular. The Tabataha Reef National Marine Park is also located here, part of the larger Tabataha Reefs Natural Park, which is home to a plethora of marine life. Palawan is considered one of the best places in the world for diving, attracting divers from all over to witness the 12 Japanese shipwrecks from World War II, some resting just below the surface, others at depths of 40 meters. It's a true underwater paradise, showcasing intact reefs and a multitude of marine inhabitants. Waterfalls, perhaps the most majestic wonders of nature. Water cascades down from towering cliffs with incredible force, crashing into rocks and rushing into narrow riverbeds or lakes. There's a plethora of mist, coolness, the scent of water, and an abundance of energy concentrated right at the heart of the waterfall. Standing there at the bottom, you're overwhelmed by indescribable feelings. Where the wild water flow ends, you start feeling like a grain of sand amidst the mighty force of nature. That's what waterfalls are to us, the rulers of aquatic beauty. Perhaps the most beautiful waterfall in Iceland is Seljalandsfoss. Yes, it's not the tallest or even the most powerful waterfall in Iceland, standing at just 60 meters tall. But the surrounding nature, the incredible views, add a unique charm to it. That's why it attracts thousands of tourists eager to witness the power of nature. What's special about it is that tourists can not only admire the waterfall from afar but also walk behind it. There's a large cave that allows for this, completely safe for visitors. And here's a bit of trivia for the ladies. This waterfall and the stunning Icelandic landscape were featured in a music video by none other than Justin Bieber. Plitvice Lakes in Croatia, a cascade of 16 interconnected lakes, linked by waterfalls and cascades. It's a true treasure of Croatia and one of the most beautiful places in Europe and the world. The park is also listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. According to scientists, the lakes have been shaping for over 4,000 years, but they were only discovered and described 400 years ago. Plitvice lakes are divided into upper and lower lakes. The upper ones are surrounded by dense forests, inhabited by deer, bears, wild cats, lynxes, wolves, and other wildlife. The lower lakes are situated on limestone rocks and are smaller in size. The water in the lakes captivates with its bright emerald blue color, attributed to the presence of bacteria, plants, and a high content of calcium carbonate. The southern coast of Portugal is a very popular resort area, a hot spot for beach vacations. The beach stretches for 150 kilometers. Hey everyone! How often do you take trips abroad? Once a year, maybe once every few years? Or perhaps you're one of those lucky ones who can afford multiple trips in a season? But regardless of how often you travel, the desire to experience unforgettable emotions from a trip is always there, right? That's why I've prepared a top list of places that will definitely leave a lasting memory for a lifetime. According to various sources, these places rightfully claim spots on the list of the most beautiful places on Earth. Well, as always, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Enjoy the show. Palawan Island, a pristine island with magnificent beaches and tropical rainforests. Situated between the South China Sea and the Sulu Sea, its coastline stretches for 2,000 kilometers, offering one of the most beautiful landscapes in the world. Also located here is the Puerto Princesa Subterranean River National Park, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It features ancient caves and underground rivers, making it truly breathtaking. Additionally, the Tabataha Reef National Marine Park is located here, part of the larger Tabataha Reef, which is home to dozens of incredible marine animals and fish. Palawan is considered one of the best places in the world for diving. Divers from all over the world come here to see the 12 Japanese ships that sank here during World War II. Some of them are almost at the surface, while others are at a depth of 40 meters. It's a real underwater paradise where you can see both intact reefs and a variety of marine life, waterfalls perhaps the most majestic wonders of nature. Water cascades with incredible force from high cliffs, rushing downwards, crashing against rocks, and flowing into narrow riverbeds or lakes. The sheer power of the waterfall, the cool mist, the smell of water, and the abundance of energy concentrated at the center of the waterfall evoke indescribable feelings. Waterfalls are like that for us. Seljalandsfoss in Iceland is perhaps the most beautiful waterfall in Iceland. Yes, it's not the highest or even the most powerful waterfall in Iceland, with a height of only 60 meters. But the surrounding nature, the incredible views, add a special charm to this waterfall. That's why it attracts thousands of tourists eager to witness the power of nature. What's special about it is that tourists can not only admire the waterfall from a distance but also walk behind it. There's a large cave behind it, completely safe for this purpose. And now, here's some information specifically for the ladies. This waterfall and all the incredible nature of Iceland were featured in a music video by none other than Justin Bieber. Plitvice Lakes in Croatia, a cascade of 16 lakes interconnected by waterfalls and cascades. It's a true treasure of Croatia and one of the most beautiful places in Europe and the world. The park is also a UNESCO World Heritage Site. According to scientists, the lakes have been forming for over 4,000 years, but the area was only discovered and described 400 years ago. The lakes are divided into two groups, upper and lower. The upper lakes are surrounded by dense forests inhabited by deer, bears, wild cats, lynxes, wolves, and other animals. The lower lakes are located on limestone rock and are smaller in size. The water in the lakes is striking with its bright emerald blue color, which is caused by the presence of bacteria, plants, and a high content of calcium carbonate. The southern coast of Portugal is a very popular resort area, a popular beach destination. The beach stretches for 150 kilometers. In 2013 and 2014, this resort was even recognized as the best golf resort in the world. Portugal is attractive because houses and hotels are located close to the water, so you can freely walk along the coast. Many seekers of pleasant relaxation come to these places. But here's something interesting. Arigard Banajal is not the name of a resort, as you might think. To your surprise, it's the name of a beach. Yes, not just any beach. Imagine a beach located in a huge cave. You can easily get to it, but only from the sea. It's located 100 meters from the beach, at the foot of the cave's vault, which is dozens of meters high. Sunlit and delighting even the most seasoned travelers with its pristine beauty, it attracts and enchants. The cave was formed by the action of rainwater, seawater, and strong ocean winds. By the way, it's quite cool inside, so it's recommended to bring warm clothing. The waves prevent you from reaching the shore in the cave, and you'll have to swim anyway. So make sure you've brought a waterproof bag for your clothes, as well as a camera and tripod if you want to take a couple of shots. And believe me, you'll definitely want to take them. One of the most popular places in Ireland among tourists, and its residents, is County Clare. Located on the west side of the island, it is known for its natural landscapes as well as historical landmarks. It's in County Clare where the world-famous cliffs of Moher are located, representing a stretch of coastline. Yes, those very cliffs you've probably seen in a bunch of different movies. The total length of the cliffs of Moher is 8 kilometers. But they are known not for their length, but for the views they offer of the Atlantic Ocean. The height of the cliffs varies from 120 to 214 meters. The cliffs got their name from the Irish word for ruins, because there used to be a dense and overgrown forest here in the Middle Ages. Imagine, these endless plains were once dense forests. Another striking example of how humans destroy nature is the Great Barrier Reef off the coast of Queensland in northeastern Australia. It is the largest living organism on the planet, visible even from space. The ecosystem, stretching 2,300 kilometers, consists of thousands of reefs and hundreds of islands formed solely by types of hard and soft corals. Countless species of colorful fish, mollusks, sea stars, as well as turtles and dolphins inhabit here. It is also included in the UNESCO World Heritage List. The Great Barrier Reef is a skeleton of hard coral species. According to recent estimates, the area of the Great Barrier Reef is almost 350,000 square kilometers. Now, imagine how many thousands of years it took for this reef to form. If it consists only of ordinary corals, alas, describing the richness of the underwater world that can be found on the Great Barrier Reef is unlikely even for a scientist who has been studying it for years. Over 1,500 fish species live among the colorful corals. Here lives a real giant monster, the whale shark. A tourist who decides to visit the Great Barrier Reef must remember that all the beauty he will see off the coast of Australia must remain for his descendants. Most of the inhabitants of the underwater world can cause injuries or severe poisoning. Thus, the Great Barrier Reef protects itself and its inhabitants from external interference. An amazing creation of nature consisting of whimsically described rocks with giant crevices illuminated by enchanting magical light for centuries. Water and wind carved out depressions in the red sandstone for hundreds of meters. Every few years, during heavy rainfalls, each canyon usually dries up, flooding with water over the course of the year. And it's precisely the rainwater, slowly flowing and carrying away grains of sand, that over many years formed these relief lines inside the rocks. The canyon got its name from the reddish walls, resembling the hide of an antelope. Unfortunately, one of the main downsides of this place, if usually incredible landscapes lose all their depth and look tens of times worse in photos, it's the opposite with this place. And it's precisely in photos that this canyon acquires incredible colors and shades. The complex of 275 waterfalls on the Iguazu River is located on the border of Brazil and Argentina. I think 90% of you have already heard or seen this place, and not without reason, as they are considered the most beautiful waterfalls in the world. In the early 21st century, it was included in the list of 7 natural wonders of our planet. The fauna of this area is very diverse and includes dozens of species of reptiles and butterflies. The tallest and most famous waterfall in the complex Devil's Throat has a crescent-shaped outline 700 meters long, falling from a height of 80 meters. Water streams create huge clouds of spray and beautiful rainbows, and the sound of water can be heard for several kilometers into the depths of the jungle. Interesting facts about the Iguazu Falls. The annual attendance of the waterfalls is over 2 million people. In 1978, it was so dry that not a single drop of water fell from the waterfall ledge. Over 1,000 years, the waterfall moves about 1 kilometer. The incredibly beautiful Moraine Lake at an altitude of 1,800 to 185 meters is located at a distance of 10 peaks. When the surrounding glaciers fill the basin with meltwater to the maximum, the lake becomes an extraordinarily blue color. This is due to the refraction of light on the rocky bottom of the lake, as well as the presence of fine particles of glacial till in the water. This wonderful place was discovered in 1899 by students from Yale College. Walter Orden later, already a rear admiral in the US Navy, recalled that those half an hour when he admired the lake were the happiest moments of his life. And indeed, the harsh beauty of the reflected mountain peaks in the calm water is simply mesmerizing. It's no wonder that Moraine Lake is called the Jewel of the Rocky Mountains, and is counted among the natural wonders of the planet. Imagine endless salt flats, covering an area larger than Cyprus and Luxembourg combined. It's hard to fathom, but such a place exists in Bolivia and is called the Sala de Uyuni. It's the largest salt flat in the world, covering 10,500 square kilometers. The thickness of the salt ranges from 2 to 8 meters. During the rainy season, the salt flat is covered with a thin layer of water and turns into the largest mirror in the world. According to scientists' estimates, the Uyuni salt flat contains reserves of 10 billion tons of salt, of which less than 25,000 tons are extracted annually. One of the attractions of the salt flat is the train graveyard, located near the railway tracks. The graveyard houses trains that ran on the adjacent railway but were abandoned during the decline in demand for transportation in the 1950s.